Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Chris Thorns. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching my content. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Ladies and gentlemen, you take a look over there to where the pictures are scrolling there, and you will see that this is a story that I and other content creators has been trying to keep up with. The young man name is Michael Joseph Vaughn, nickname Monkey. Okay, so we're getting breaks in the case now, which there's another update now. A little small detail about this young fella's case, and I'm gonna let y'all hear it right now. And from our understanding, they saying that he was killed, buried, and then removed. Or the police believe he was buried and removed. Ladies and gentlemen, have a listen.
Police in Idaho say their worst fears are being realized as they piece together what happened to a little boy named Michael Vaughn. This little boy, nicknamed Monkey, disappeared in July of 2021. He was playing outside his home in Fruitland, Idaho. Investigators recently excavated a backyard near his family home. It's about a half a mile away from where Michael lived and was last seen. They did that excavation last month. They did not find any human remains on that property, but they say that cadaver sniffing dogs indicated that remains had been buried there at some point. The police chief said, quote, "We strongly believe based on evidence that Michael was abducted and is deceased and that his remains were buried and later moved from that property." Police have arrested Sarah Wandra for failing to report a death. She has not been found mentally competent for this case to proceed against her. Joining us now is Bernarda Villalona, legal analyst, criminal defense attorney, and former prosecutor. We appreciate you being here this morning. As I mentioned, Michael Monkey was last seen in July of last year, so a lot of time has gone by. This is the first time police, though, have come out and definitively said, really without any ambiguity, we believe that Michael is deceased and we are looking for his remains. Do they have enough yet for prosecutors to proceed with the case based on the two people they have in custody so far?
It was very disheartening to hear the press conference from Chief Huff. We don't know much about the investigation. As Chief Huff stated, this is an open and active investigation, so they don't want to give much information to the public because they don't want to disturb the integrity of the investigation. But based on what we know now, reading through the lines of what Chief Huff said during the press conference, we know that this couple, Sarah and Stacy, are in custody. Sarah's only in custody for failure to report a death of human remains. And that is only a misdemeanor that carries a penalty of up to 1 year. Her husband is in custody, but he hasn't been charged or anything relating to the death or the abduction of Michael Vaughn. Based on what I've heard so far, I don't hear enough to charge homicide, even though the body hasn't been recovered. But we do know that there was at least probable cause for a search warrant to be executed at that home. So I'm curious to read what was the probable cause to execute that search warrant at that home.
Right. And I found it really interesting that police went so far in that recent press conference after excavating the yard to put photos of two other people that they want to question in connection with Michael's disappearance. One is Brandon Shirtliff. He's 30 years old, from Idaho, currently believed to be in North Dakota. The other one is Adrian Lucene. He's 32. They believe he may be in Toledo, Ohio. Both of them were either living or had been at the home around the time that they believe Michael disappeared. How significant was that when you saw police right at the beginning put out their faces, their names, and not call them suspects, but say, we do want to talk to you?
So it is out of the ordinary for law enforcement to state the names and also show the photographs of individuals that they're looking to question, looking for information, but not saying that they're suspects or had anything to do with the abduction or the death of Michael Vaughn. Because as you can see towards the end of that press conference, the law enforcement chief Huss was saying that we hope that you do contact law enforcement so we can be able to talk to you, because they do have information to believe believe that they were inside of the house at some point during the time period of Michael Vaughn's disappearance, but they're not saying that they had any involvement in the abduction or the death of Michael Vaughn. So it's a little bit out of the ordinary, because usually you wouldn't put out the names and photographs of eyewitnesses or witnesses to the public, because it can cause harm to them. But I think the reason they did it is to put pressure on them to come forward. But at this point, if they were to come forward, I would suggest that they get an attorney to represent them when they go to talk to police. Because at this point, look, you put my name out there. I don't know if you're looking at me as a suspect. You're not saying you're looking at me as a suspect, but that could be, so I don't lawyer up.
So the next step in this, it sounds as though police are going to continue the search now of a neighbor's yard. The neighbors are cooperating with ground penetrating radar. I found it unique that they came out and said that we believe he's deceased without finding his remains yet. What does that tell you? That they may be close to finding him based on what they found or didn't find so far in that backyard?
So in terms of the neighbor's backyard, we know that the neighbor is not requiring a warrant from law enforcement to search the neighbor's backyard. So that is significant in the sense of, look, law enforcement did not have to go in front of a judge and say, look, I think there's probable cause to search the neighbor's backyard, because we know the neighbors, at least by the press conference, are not involved because there was no statement in that regard. However, in regards to the search of the Wandrin's home, we know that there was a search warrant. So those cadaver dogs did hit positive for human remains having been in that backyard. But what's interesting about that is that the dogs, they hit positive, meaning there's a positive smell, that at some point there were human remains there, but it doesn't tell you who those human remains belong to.
Well, it is a chilling and tragic case, and I do want to point out that the community has applauded law enforcement's efforts in Fruitland because they have not given up. In fact, when you go to the main website for the Fruitland Police Department, Michael Vaughn's case is at the very top of that page. He vanished in July of last year. So they say they are relentless in their search for justice and for answers for this little boy. That indicates to me that we will be hearing much more from police as they continue this search in the days and weeks to come. Bernarda, thank you for your time this morning and a closer look at this case. We sure appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that came from News Nation. That's their content. Make sure I give them their credit and whatnot. So y'all heard it yourself. I think this came in like a couple of hours ago or whatnot. So I'm pretty much sure it probably reached the fruit of us content creators. And wow, that's interesting. You know, they believe he was killed, buried there, and then sometime his body was moved, and the cadaver dogs hit that area and smelled human remains. Okay, so now they say with the woman, they just saying they charging her with she didn't report it, but the dude, they don't know. But now I find it interesting, like they saying, you know, it's two other people who may be a player in this story. Wow, I can't wait to see how that goes. But sorry, guys, I don't really just have time to really break it down like I really usually would do. But y'all get the gist of what is going on with this. You know, as always, this is a developing story. The investigation is going on. Look like hopefully they will crack the case and get the person or persons who is actually responsible for this. And again, I'm a man of my word. I say if it comes out that Tyler had nothing to do with it, you know, hey, I take back what I said. My bad. My apologies to Tyler, because I wasn't the one say I think Tyler had something to do with it, you know, and some people say they think the mama had something to do with it. I don't know. I never looked at the mom and said she had anything to do with it, but we have heard stories that mom come out here and boo and cry to find out they knew everything the whole damn time, you know. But with this mama, I never just really looked at her as anybody who had a thing to do with it. But Tyler, yes, my eyes was on him. And probably her sister, because her sister was just looking so guilty when this story had first hit, you know. But hey, look like the truth is coming out, and Tyler and the sister had nothing to do with it. And for that, hey, my bad. I stand corrected. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, leave your thoughts in your comments, what you think about this. And hey, I'll see y'all later. Stay tuned. Peace out.